Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol, where we will explore food and a little beyond. So come along with me on this journey and see what we uncover. Welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol at the studio at the Beacon. We are brought to you by the Red Arrow Diners, open 24/7 at all 4 locations, Manchester, Londonderry, Concord, and Nashua. And today on Beyond the Plate with Carol, this is very special today. As you can see, I'm back in the Glen Room. I did a first Glen Room with my nephew to kind of see how it went. But this was the one this guest is the one that I really wanted to get on into the Glen Room. I'm joined today by Bobby Marcotte, the chef and entrepreneur behind Tuckaway Tavern, Hop and Grind, Rise and Grind, Grindhouse Meat Company, and The Barn at Mary Hill. You've seen his food on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives and Triple D Nation. Watched him compete on Beat Bobby Flay. And he's a 3-time champion on Guy's Grocery Games. He was named New Hampshire's Restaurateur of the Year in 2024 and recognized as one of the 10 disruptive entrepreneurs in the country. That's awesome. He just came back from the Taste of World Food Championships, and I can't wait to ask him how that went. We're talking growth, grit, and how to build brands that people are in line for. Welcome, Bobby.
How are you?
That is huge, isn't it?
That was quite the intro.
Wasn't it?
Thank you.
Do you remember when I very first interviewed you?
100%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I tell people that story a lot.
I was actually just telling Dante the story when we saw each other at Roaming Foodie the other day. So.
Isn't he a great guy?
Oh, yeah.
He is. That's where I'm having so much fun, just talking to people and learning their stories and, and stuff like that. But yeah.
I do remember the story, though. I think you thought I was, I think you thought it.
I'm like, you're Bobby Marcotte, like, get out of here.
You did literally look at me like that, too.
I did.
You're like, this is going to be the stupidest episode ever.
Like,
what was
No, I didn't mean it. I was like,
no.
Are you kidding? Like, I walked right by you.
I did just tell that story the other day, though. And now here we are.
See? And here and did you hear that intro? I mean,
a lot's changed, I guess.
I know I've heard your story, but I know there's a lot of people out there that haven't. But let's just start with how you started in the restaurant business and leading up to Tuckaway, and then we'll continue on.
Yeah, it all started with a pair of Air Maxes. I tell the story. My dad was a chef in the Navy, cooked on boats, and then when he got back, he kind of became this gypsy line cook, kind of lasted about 6 months to a year and bounced from place to place and kind of just got his feet cooking everywhere around the state, essentially. And then when I turned 13, I wanted this $150 pair of shoes. My mom laughed at me, said, go get a job. And so I called my dad, and he had brought me to work a few times, and I worked for like mozzarella sticks, chicken broccoli Alfredo, never got paid. But then I formally went and asked him for a job. I told him I wanted to work and make some money. That's where it all began. And
then, okay, so you started did you start as a dishwasher?
Started as a dishwasher.
I know I did.
Yeah, and all my downtime I spent watching the chefs. Like as soon as I walked in the kitchen, even as a kid when I was doing the mozzarella stick gig, I just loved it. There was so much going on. It was so busy. It was loud. You heard music. You heard yelling. It was just like chaos. And I don't know why I gravitated towards it, but I did. And I just like instantly fell in love with the atmosphere.
Now, how old were you then?
When I first got brought into a kitchen, I was probably like 9-10 years old.
Okay.
But 13 is when I went and officially started dishwashing, getting a job.
Okay. So walk me through, when because you worked your way up.
Yep. Kind of quickly. I dishwashed for maybe a month, maybe 2 months.
Well, yeah, they were because I was in the kitchen.
Well, not even. It was one of those things where dude got fired for stealing beer out of the walk-in, but I had been watching like every day, I was asking, can I plate that salad? Can I throw that sauce on the plate? Can you teach me how to do that? And luckily he had been doing it the whole way, whole way up. And then I eventually took his position because
jumped right in.
Yeah. I was ready to go, which was, so I carried that philosophy really all through my career. It was like always learning the next step up so that I could be ready to go if that opportunity ever came.
When in your heart, did you know, oh my gosh, I really like this. And this is what I want to do. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
did you feel like that at a certain point?
I think I knew it right away because I never thought about doing anything else. But I tell the story like when I had my daughter, I was 17 years old. I was 2 weeks out of high school. My parents knew the baby was coming, and they told me like, hey, once you graduate, you got to get out of the house. It's time to become a man, become a dad. And, that's when I really started looking at it as a career, and then getting my first opportunity to sous chef, at 20 years old. I think that's when I really just threw my heels in because I could do specials. I could start creating. I was doing menu items. And that was like, there's no looking back at that point. But really, honestly, I think I naturally just felt it the whole time from the time I stepped foot in it.
So what led to Tuckaway? Like, how did that all?
Yeah.
Tuckaway.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So I tell the story. I was at Village Square restaurant in Hampstead for like 12 years. It was my first 3 restaurants all closed. So, having my daughter, I started getting nervous. Like, is this actually a sustainable path? And I said I was going to take one more job. And if it didn't last, or if it was under a year, like the last 2, I'd start looking for something else just out of necessity. Not I didn't really want. But Village Square happened. And that's when I started like getting that consistent paycheck, consistent growth. And so I became comfortable there. I was getting a lot of opportunities to start managing and things like this. And it was just like the first constant that I had for my family. And so, I was there for maybe 8 years, and I was like starting to get bored. The owners were great people. They always treated me well, but they just weren't the ideal owners. They would come in the restaurant and be like, hey, I just ate at this country club. I had this dish. I want you to do that exact same dish. And so that gets old after a while, like I want to do my thing, not necessarily, what the guy next door is doing. So 8 years, I started like, getting hungry, getting a little bored. So I actually applied at the Yankee market, the Yankee Freetown market when it first opened. One of my chefs.
Right near Tuckaway.
It's where Tuckaway is now.
Okay.
So they had just built it. It was brand new. They were kind of starting to get a little hype around them. And one of my chefs that I worked with at Village had gone and worked there. And so he was in there as like a sous chef or something. And so I went in and like talked to the owners and asked if I could just get a part-time prep gig because I didn't want to make a full leap because again, it was my first constant paycheck, but it was a little extra cash. I was doing something new. So I applied to be a prep cook just to get my foot in the door. And they told me I was asking for too much money. I think it was like $14 an hour. Maybe even less. And so they told me I was too expensive and didn't take me. And then a year later, they went bankrupt, closed, and I was still obsessed with like the building. And so, I kept asking about it with my sales reps. Hey, anyone looking at it? And as soon as Paul and George, who became owners of it, as soon as they stepped foot in it, my Cisco rep called me. He's like, there's guys that are going to be doing this. And I was like, get me in front of them right away. Because at that point, it was like a couple of years later or whatever, a year or 2 later. And at that point, I was just like ready to go because I found a lot of stealing going on at the Village. A lot of older employees that had been there for 20 years just robbing the owners blind. And like, it was so negligent that she was so enrooted with these people, like good friends with them, that she wouldn't get rid of them. She would just like keep these people on board while they're stealing. And I would try to do the right thing. I remember firing a bartender. I literally was tracking stuff, like trying to find what was going on. And I watched a bartender blatantly steal a wad of cash, paid the tab, rang in 1 beer, stuck $150 in her pocket kind of thing. And I had been waiting for that. And I told her to leave. At that point, I was general manager, chef. I was kind of running the joint. And I fired her on the spot. And she went crying to the owner. And, because they were friends, because she'd worked there 20 years, she hired her back. And that was kind of
oh, that's a slap in
the face. That was like,
face.
That was like the ending point for me. And so I was really serious about wanting to do something, and Tuckaway just happened to be popping up, and it was just perfect timing.
Now, your 2 partners, did they have restaurant experience?
No,
I didn't think
neither.
So.
Well, so George does real estate. He was literally just buying it as an investment. And then Paul, he had owned Nemo's hot dogs, I think, out of Boston. It was an up-and-coming hot dog joint that he bought the brand, and he was kind of running with that for a while. I don't know if I'm saying that. Nemo sounds weird now. I think it's right. So he had bought that brand and played with that for a while. I think he like played around at a seafood joint for a little bit, but they were both construction guys, like property management, construction. And so I was their first chef that came through the door to like interview.
So you got yourself in front of them
right away.
You pled your.
They asked me to walk around the building, asked me what I was thinking. And I had already been thinking about it. And I kind of just walked right from front to back, talking about like cross utilization and what I envisioned for the butcher shop and, keeping those old favorites from Raymond because they were so successful. We just had a great conversation and there was like no looking back. I was hired like a day later to just come in and be the culinary and restaurant guy. And,
so from that point, how long was it before Tuckaway opened?
Me and Paul, so George is kind of hands off. He's just a silent guy. And then me and Paul were we call it the war room. It's now our shipping room, but we were in there for a year, just planning, designing, strategizing, putting it all together. And we spent literally 7 days a week together in that room, like from the time the sun came up to the time the sun went down, and just we're going over every little detail that we wanted to make Tuckaway.
So talk to me about the feeling like opening day, Tuckaway Tavern.
Wild. I mean, you hope, you literally like dream of that kind of reception. And, we were out of food like within a couple hours. We had to shut down and regroup and do it again. And just figure out how much volume we really were preparing ourselves for, because there was a stretch when we were just, selling out. So we opened the butcher shop first and let that run for about 6 months to see what were going to be the hits, what were going to be the misses. And then I was going to base my menu off of that to kind of gauge where my clientele was at and, what they're looking for. And so we let that run for 6 months. We really got our groove in and started, establishing that core staff that's going to help open the tavern side and really help us, achieve the goal. And so we kind of worked out the kinks with the butcher shop, and then we opened the tavern, and it was the same exact reception. We were out of food first night. We were out of food second night. We went into the weekend with no food, so we had to close till Monday because we had no one bringing us food. So it's wild. It still to this day is wild.
It is wild. I mean, it really, really is. When did you know? I mean, I guess you knew it pretty early on. Like, oh my gosh, this is like a big thing. This is huge.
Yeah, I guess I realized it pretty quickly that we were going to be busy, but I never look at us as the big thing because I'm always like, I know it can go away at any second. So I'm the pessimist in our partnership. I'm always like waiting for the worst to come because I know that, anything can change at any moment. And that's why I'm so like focused on just making sure we do it correctly every single day, because I don't take it for granted. I don't consider us the big thing because I'm waiting for the next big thing to come along. So I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense.
I know we're busy and I know it's, we've got a great thing going, but yeah, I don't know.
I know also you have like a file of all stuff that didn't work, but you always go back to it.
I do?
Yeah, I read that somewhere. Like different dishes that didn't work out, but you go back and you rework them.
No, my whole approach to food is like taking a dish that's familiar and what I don't like about it or what I think can elevate it or what I think can make it into our own.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of what I do on the daily. Yeah, no, okay. But that's I get what you're saying now. It's kind of like looking at our whole model going in, me and Paul, was like, what is everyone doing around us so that we're not going to do that? Whereas I feel like a lot of the mentality is that's working, so we're going to copy and paste that. You know what I mean? Which is not the way to go, as you know. I mean, you gotta set yourself apart. And so, I knew we were going to be in a blue collar demographic. They're going to want meatloaf. They're going to want mac and cheese. They're going to want pasta. But how can we make that unique and make it our own? And what are people not serving around us? And that's kind of my whole mentality in approaching food.
I am not a big meat eater. I mean, I eat meat, but I'm not like a big red meat eater. And your place is the only one that I will have. It's when I go, I'm like, okay, I need to get my fix. The baby.
The baby tenderloin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is.
It's a great piece of meat.
It's ridiculous how good it is. You can almost cut it with your fork.
Yeah.
I mean, even your steak tips.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's just, yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of those big things. It's like we knew Yankee Market was super famous and super popular for 30 years in Raymond for a reason. And so we were lucky enough to get to sit with the owners and pick their brains, and they were an open book with us. They wanted us to succeed, and that whole vacuum tumbling process is key to what we do. I mean, it makes that, we start with great beef to begin with, and then putting that technique on top of it, it just puts it over the top and makes it melt in your mouth tender.
It totally does. So if anybody is watching or listening and you've never been, shame on you, but get over there. I mean, gosh. Actually, before we move on to the other ones, we have to talk about the 2-for-1 lobster rolls.
Yeah.
I mean, that is crazy. Like I'll have a friend and she'll call and it's usually a Monday or a Tuesday. Let's meet over at Tuckaway. I'm like, we can't get into Tuckaway on a Monday or a Tuesday. Are you kidding me? It was like hours to get in. Let's talk about that. That is. Still, this has been how many years?
We're going on year 14 right now.
Did you start the 2-for-1 right away?
It was the first year. Maybe it was the second year, but
okay,
it was early. It was early. We looked at sales and, Monday, Tuesday, obviously we know in the restaurant business, it's not the best. And we were like debating, like, do we maybe do dinner only? Do we just close it, give the staff a day off like everyone else does? Or do we do something really cool and like try to jack up our Monday, Tuesdays? And one night I was like, going through my head, like, what do people like? What are we going to do? I'm not going to do steak tips, but like, what if we took our lobster? Because we were doing lobster rolls. I was like, what if we did buy one, get one half off? And I shot Paul a text and I get it back in the morning. He's like, no, buy one, get one free. And I was like, you are a crazy man. And we did it. We tried it Monday, it hammered. And then we're like, let's do Tuesday too. And that's kind of how we built this business. And now our Mondays are literally our busiest days of the week.
You can't even go at 3:00. Because that's, Daryl and I will sometimes, I'm usually off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. And that's sometimes when we'll go. And you still can't even get in at 3:00.
It's wild. Yeah, never did we, again, it's like that light bulb moment when, you don't think that it's not that you don't think it'll work, but you don't expect it to work that well.
And it's been consistently working that well.
Correct.
I mean, that's the key. I mean, I've always said, if you have quality and consistency is the key to your business.
I think we talked about it on our very first
for sure
podcast together. And I agree. I mean, and that's what I loved about Paul when I first met him, was he was dedicated to that. Like I had explained my issues with my last restaurant and what I didn't like and what I did like. And, we were just so in line from day one in terms of consistency and quality being like the number 1 and 2 things that we needed. And then he was really the one that brought in, server side, bartender side I got, but like the customer service side on the butcher shop and the retail side, I mean, he really put that together, and he was really driving home that old school butcher shop neighborhood, over the counter.
And it so has
one customer at a time.
I like the spin wheel too.
Oh yeah. That's another one. Yeah.
That's a cool thing. I love that. I love when I get to spin the wheel.
People love it. They get pissed if we take it down, because we take it down on holidays because it's just too busy. We can't do it. And people get pissed at us.
Sure. So, I can just see it.
Yeah.
What dish or burger most defines each concept, and do you have a story behind it? Like, is there
wow, that's a great question. Definitely the whole Tuck and Farm at Tuckaway. So we started, again, we were all guerrilla marketing. We still haven't spent any money on marketing throughout this entire Tuckaway thing. So we always were just trying to come up with fun, unique things to do to get some hype. And the whole Tuck and Farm was actually born through a burger contest that we did. So we did this contest year 2 where we put it out to social media that customers could create their own burger. And we did like a bracket system and narrowed it down to one winning burger, to get on our menu with your whole cred on our menu and all this. And it was like, it took off. It was nuts. But along the way, one of the burgers mentioned, it didn't win, but my cousin actually sent me a burger called Feather and Leather that he saw, I forget where, and it was a similar concept, but they just put like a chicken thigh on a burger and gravy on it. It was like different, but kind of similar. I was like, oh, we can have fun with that. And I was, we have that barn look to us. And I was like, what if we just took that and added all the animals, cow, chicken, pig, and made it the whole Tuckin farm. And so we did. And that obviously got us on Triple D, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives for the first time. So that's a definitive burger there for sure. And then Hop and Grind.
So when did you decide it was Hop and Grind? No, Hop and Grind first and then Rise and Grind.
Correct. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. So when did you decide, okay, you know what? I want to do this again. A little bit of a different concept.
We knew we wanted to grow concepts pretty much out the gate as well. I even described I had this whole vision where we could take Tuckaway as a commissary and kind of build other brands and have that be like the meat hub, you know what I mean? And that was kind of my vision from the gate. But Paul, said from day one, we're going to take our time. We're going to think about it. We're going to do it right, just like we did here, and focus. And so I wanted to open Hop and Grind pretty early, but we took 4 years from the time we opened Tuckaway to open Hop and Grind, and just kind of took 2 years to hibernate on the idea. I knew I didn't want to just open a smash burger spot because it's been done. Everyone, smashes a burger and puts a house sauce on it. Wasn't exciting to me. So obviously I wanted to start with a beef burger. We wanted to have an affordable option. So we called it the High Five. And it was a $5 burger, but it was based on a McDonald's cheeseburger. So I took the components of a McDonald's burger, ground beef, pickles, onions, mustard, ketchup. I took the mustard and ketchup and made it into our house sauce, our hop sauce, which has pickles and all sorts of other stuff. But it was the idea of like, what's on America's favorite cheeseburger, right? And then I approached a local pickle company, had them make us our own pickles, sweet, little spicy. And then for the onions, I didn't want to do diced onions because honestly, how many people order no onions on that McDonald's burger? So I took and did like crispy onion strings, and that was our burger. So that's like I knew that was our basic lineup, but I wanted to do the infused burgers. I thought that was really cutting edge. No one was doing it. I hadn't seen it before. So I was like, what if we took our sausage and manipulated it into these cool infused burgers? And so the first one was the Parma Sutra. That would be the definitive burger. So I took our chicken parm sausage.
That is the best thing.
Thank you. And our whole concept is like reverse sear. So we sous vide the patties and then we just hit them on the plancha. And I just hadn't seen it done before. But that one's on a garlic bread bun, homemade tomato sauce, provolone, and then hit it with mozzarella sticks because hello. We're on college campus.
There. Oh my gosh. Now I need a burger.
That's our defining one. But then the Karate Pig got us on Triple D again. So, I give a little love to each. I have a favorite chicken and a favorite pork now. So
love it. So let's talk about Triple D. So what was it like to get that phone call?
I mean, it's wild. Another thing, it's like, I give credit to Paul too, because literally every step of the way, he was like calling it. He'd be like, all right, TV Diners. He's like, TV Diners going to come in here. I know they are. So they came in. We got the gold plate. He's like, Phantom's next. He would just always say these things and it would happen. We're New Hampshire Magazine, count on Best Butcher Shop. And I'd be like, stop doing that. But at one point, he's like, guy's coming. He's like, guy's coming. I'm telling you right now. And so we got a call on a Friday night, mid-service.
They asked me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
To get us?
Yes.
Heck yeah. No, I don't think you ever told me that.
You don't know that?
No.
I never told you that? They had asked me a few times, who I would recommend to be on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And I'm like, Bobby Marcotte.
Oh, my God.
I gave him all kinds. I can't believe I didn't tell you that.
You've never told me that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Hello.
So funny.
Wow.
You and then my cousin who had a bakery in Somersworth, and she got on it too.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. So,
that's funny.
Yeah, I was on the line, middle of a Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah. And the host comes in. She's like,
was it Bryna?
Oh, I don't even remember.
All right.
It was just someone from Food Network. So they say, oh, you have a phone call up front. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the middle. That's not happening. So take a message. They're like, well, they said it's Food Network. I was like, yeah, okay. I'm like, take a message. I thought it was Paul fucking with me, to be honest with you, because he kept saying guy was coming. So I figured, and he's a jokester. So I figured maybe he had like the host come in and say that. I'm like, take a message. I'm not going anywhere. And she did. And so I called it back the next day, and sure enough, it was them. And, the waiting process, they're like, oh, you might be on it. We're thinking about it. You don't hear back for months. And then they called, I thought it had come and gone, forgot about it. And they called me and like, hey, we're coming in 2 weeks. You got to shut down, give me all the instructions. And I was just like,
Isn't
blown
it
away.
wild?
It's wild.
It's so wild.
Something you dream of,
It
as a
is.
chef. I mean, something I dreamed of anyways. I mean, I always loved his show. I watched him on Next Food Network. I just thought he was like the coolest guy, like the most out of the box, genuine chef that I had seen on TV in a long, maybe ever.
I knew that the two of you would hit it off. I mean, you're both.
I did not know that. Production made me take a shot of tequila before filming because I was so hyped up. And I was like, no. And then I thought they were setting me up. Like, are they seeing if I'll do it? But they're like, no, you need to do it. I was like, okay, I did. I took a shot of tequila and just straightened me out. And then 10 minutes later, guy was there and we just rolled into it. And yeah, we hit it off really well, I would say.
I would say.
Right when we got done filming that, he looked at his production guy, was like, Triple G kind of did one of these. He's like, have you heard of my show Grocery Games? And I honestly hadn't at the time, I don't think. And I was like, yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah. Thank God. Don't know anything about it, but who cares?
Yeah, if it's you, it's awesome. And so he hooked me up with the producer and they called me literally 2 weeks later and they're like, we're doing this tournament, flew me out. I show up. It's the Triple D All-Star Tournament. My episode hadn't even aired. It literally aired the Saturday before I was filming Grocery Games.
Oh, wow.
But I showed up and it was 15 Triple D legends. I had seen them all. I had seen all their episodes. And they're looking at me like, who the hell's this guy? None of them have heard of me. None of them associated with me.
Triple G.
The Grocery Games.
Okay.
Yeah, when I showed up for the tournament. Because they had all... they've been in the circuit for a bit, and here I am, this guy that hasn't even aired yet, and I'm on the Triple D All-Star Tournament. So it was daunting. I mean, it was intense going in, because that was my first cooking competition. I mean, I had done maybe chili and chowder competitions, but to get thrown into that, it was wild.
What is it like when you're, because I watch it, when, they give you what you're going to be shopping for? Do they give you any hints ahead of time? I mean, do you?
No. So when you arrive, you get to walk through the store. You get 10 minutes to walk through the store, and you get 10 minutes to walk in your kitchen. You're with a production assistant, and they kind of give you the rundown of each aisle, and this is what you'll find here. This is what you'll find here. You get a quick synopsis, a real quick synopsis. And then the equipment walks you through. This is the blast chiller. This is how you use it. This is our fryer. This is how you use. This is the grill. It's really
and that's it.
And that's it. And then they take you back in the green room, and when it's go, it's go. It's it's legit.
Okay, so tell me the feeling when you're holding onto the cart and he says go. I mean, you must be
your head's everywhere.
How do you prepare yourself for that?
But my whole thing is once you get a direction, you got to go, because if you sit there and think and overthink and try to change things, it just gets
what you're gonna make.
Yeah,
because you got to come up with that right away.
You do, because you're shopping, and a lot of times you can't go back in the store, or you have a budget, or you have a little container to put, you don't know what's coming. So if you don't have a definitive plan out the gate, then you're kind of screwed. And luckily, I've been just able to think on my feet quickly on that show. I don't know what it is, but I thrive in it. I love it. And I hate it at the same time because I'm so stressed. I don't want to lose. I'm so competitive. That's my biggest thing is I don't want to lose. So I'm firing myself up. No, I didn't.
Wow. That is.
I did lose once with my teammate, but we were in the teams tournament. We made it to the final four, which was still good. It was still great.
Of course.
But, yeah.
And then he asked you back.
Yep.
So you were on Triple G 3 times.
I've been on 5 times.
Okay, so the last one was the Triple D Champions.
It was called the Legends Tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was everyone that's won championships on Guys Grocery. It was all 8 of us had won on the show at some point on some level. So I had already won 2 tournaments before this tournament, and no one has ever three-peated. And the only other one to win 2 tournaments was Carl, who passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild.
That is wild. This episode is powered by Red Arrow Diner. All 4 locations, officially open around the clock. Swing by Manchester, Nashua, Concord, or Londonderry whenever hunger hits. From pancakes at 2 a.m. to fries and gravy for breakfast, we've got your cravings covered. Red Arrow, New Hampshire's favorite 24-hour diner tradition. So let's talk a little bit about Rise and Grind.
Yeah. When we first looked for Hop and Grind, there's 2 end caps on this building. It's at the lower level of like a college student facility, you know what I mean? So apartment building, whatever. So there was 2 end caps and they were both blank when I got there, but I had just missed out on the one facing Fraternity Row. And I really liked that one, the exposure to the road and all that, but they had literally just locked up the contract like a week before I finalized mine. So I ended up at the other end, and I just always loved that location. And during COVID, the coffee shop that was in there went out. And, you know, thinking from a strategic level too, I'm like, well, God forbid this gets replaced with, I don't know, a lunch shop or, you know, a sandwich joint or whatever. I'm like, it makes all the sense for me to just take over this space and kind of run this whole little row. And like I said, I loved the space. So just wanted, same thing. I went in during COVID. The landlord actually approached me and they were like, hey, we're going to either turn this into like a student hangout or we'll have you open something if you want, but we're not even offering this to anybody else. And I was like, hell yeah, because I was thinking about approaching you about that. And so yeah, I kind of kept it, you know, the concept the same, but really brought our own flair to it with our, you know, our own breakfast sandwiches.
Right.
Yeah. And we opened it as a actual coffee bar where all of our coffee was coming off taps, hot and cold. And that was the whole concept behind it. But, you know, never really picked up steam. And it's obviously way more expensive to do that. So right now we still run all different taps, local roasters and things like that for cold brew, but we're doing the drip coffee for hot now. But our sandwiches are absolute fire. We make our own sausage. We were making our own Spam for a bit, for a Spam and egg that was wild. You know, chicken salad, things like this. So it's a cool little spot. And now I have a girl in there, Hannah, who graduated UNH hospitality. She's a great chef, great energy, like just a real go-getter. And I've kind of told her, like, take this, have some fun with it, show me what you can do with it. And she really has. She just did a hot dog pop-up the other night. She wanted to do some glizzies late night, which she did. She did a little you know, ladies' night out a couple weeks ago. So she's starting to dip her toe in some pop-ups and really, because I honestly haven't spent a ton of time there. You know, you have to pick your battles with which locations require what attention. And I would say that's gotten the least because it's kind of the least maintenance. It's open the shortest hours. It's coffee and breakfast sandwiches. So, but I think it's got a ton more potential to do some cool stuff. So she's kind of taking that ball and running with it.
And you know, it's important when you give your employees that kind of free reign, not free reign, but you know what I mean? Like be creative.
100%.
Then they can.
I can't tell them that enough. You know? Yeah. Right. And like 20-year ago me, maybe, but even then I've always had that openness with my chefs to like, hey, help me make this better. Or what do you think this needs? Or what can we add to that? And now it's like, do you guys have a menu item for cold weather? Do you guys want to do something on the menu? Like they're making sauces for sandwiches on the menu. They're making chicken sandwiches for the menu. Like and at Hop and Grind, like my chef James, he's been with me about 8 years now. My eventual goal is for him to run the company, take over the company, buy the company, whatever he wants to do. And I've kind of put that ball in his court too. And so he's taking the menus there and he's making them his own. And yeah, it's really cool to watch because I think that's going to be the real reward is when I can actually like hand it off to somebody fully. And I can't wait for it. It's taken a lot longer. You know, me and Paul always said like, we want to be employee owned or have our employees have shares in it. But as you know, like making back debt and making sure that we're square before we can get to that point has taken a lot longer. But I think when we get there, it's going to be, you know, the way it should be.
Very cool. I mean, and let's talk about the employees for a little bit more. I mean, because when you go into Tuckaway, that's the most one that we go to. I haven't been to Rise and Grind. I feel terrible saying that, but I'm going to put it on our bucket. I know. We're going to go. I have been to Hop and Grind, but you know, your employees, hire from within. promote from within.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh yeah. No,
so you
that's
must have systems in place that you're
always the goal.
You're always, get your eye on someone and go, whoa, that,
Yeah.
So let's talk
Tuckaway, there's actually, that internal battle now because the butchery knows that if I find someone good, we're probably stealing them for the restaurant. You see those good customer skills that carry over,
right?
I'm plucking. And so they've become a little territorial over the years because they know they don't want anyone being too good because they're probably going to get switched over. But no, we always do that. I'm always looking for that next superstar, and especially in the kitchen, like anyone that wants to learn more and grow, like we are all about that. Like you're prepping, you want on the line, get in here, let's see what you got, like, and that goes for like hop and grind being a smaller, more compact thing. I'm always encouraging like, hey, does kitchen want to learn front of the house? Does front of the house want to learn kitchen? That way we're more mobile, we're more flexible. Everyone feels as though they're more of a unit, you know what I mean? So if you go down one, anyone can slide in. So I think always looking from within is the way to go.
Yeah.
UNH is funny. I've been so lucky with my staff there because you get this wave of freshmen and they, we treat them right. They make great money. And so they kind of hang with us their whole way through.
Yeah.
But then you have that turnover every few years. Like I've had incredible rock stars that have gone on to become, nurses and lawyers and accountants and whatever, we're kind of that nice pathway forward. But I still it means so much when I get those texts from them still years later and they're like, hey, I miss you. I miss being there. It was my favorite job ever. And yeah, it's really cool to get those texts, even though you hate to lose them. But my whole thing is like, I don't want to lose you to another restaurant. You leave me for another restaurant, that's messed up because I offer everything that anyone can offer. You know what I mean? But if you leave me to go become a doctor, well, I can't be mad at that. Or like my girl Dana, she was with me for, 7 years. She ran Rise and Grind, Hop and Grind. She did everything. She did a great job and she went on to nurse. She got her degree, hung with us, and kind of said that's what she wanted to do, but then decided to go back into nursing. And now she's shooting for children's oncology, which is like, oh my God, like that's the ultimate, occupation for me to see someone go on and do like, so it's really cool to see, sometimes it sucks, but they're on to bigger and better. So.
Right. Exactly. Okay. And let's touch upon Barn at Mary Hill.
Yes.
I mean, when are you stopping?
Well, we got dairy coming too, but
I did hear that.
Yeah. So Barn at Mary Hill kind of came about. We started dairy before COVID. Like we started planning.
I remember hearing a little bit about it.
Yeah, and then people think we were just bluffing, but like we had engineered a whole design with backyard brewery. We're going to do this beautiful co-op concept where they serve the beer, we serve the food, big communal area in the middle where people kind of hang out, and it was awesome. But then COVID hit and all the supplies went from, 4 million to 9 million overnight. And we were like, okay, well, that's not going to work. So then we re-engineered it from wood to steel because steel was still cheap enough. And we did that whole thing. And then steel became unusable. And so we were like, we're shutting this whole thing down. Paul was like, we're never doing it. I'm all done with it. Let's go focus on something else. And I was actually sick in bed with COVID, and he texted me that he found the barn and wanted me to come look at it. And, he was going to get in there because it was going up for auction. And we ended up scooping it up. We had been looking for a catering venue for quite a while. Same thing, taking our time, making sure it was like what we wanted. And right away, we kind of both agreed that it was a perfect grab and converted it into this beautiful wedding space.
My son got married there, as you know, Tyler. And
really cool to have him there.
It was great.
Great dude.
Very, very good.
As you know. But yeah, I say it's the best thing we've done, but only because it's probably the most profitable thing we've done because, there's not a lot of variables in it. You know exactly how many staff you need, exactly how much food you need. The only thing that fluctuates is maybe booze, but hey, I can figure that out. You know what I mean? So it's been a great endeavor. I'm super happy with it. Yeah. And then, of course, dairy on the horizon.
Now, what is dairy's concept going to be?
Yeah. So that's going to be a new butcher shop, steakhouse.
Kind of like Tuckaway?
Yep. But not a Tuckaway. Everyone thinks it's a Tuckaway, but it's, as you see, we don't really repeat. I repeated hop and I learned my lesson. So I'm never going to repeat again. So this is going to be a new spin on a Tuckaway. It's going to be Tuckaway 2.0. That's going to be, it'll become Grindhouse Meat Company is what that will be. And the big focus there was USDA. We don't have any space to continue to build at Tuckaway. So we wanted a USDA facility because there's a lot of demand. We learned during COVID too that there's a lot of demand for our product at like country stores and little delis. And like we have a lot of opportunity in that space where we can take the labor out of it for people and they can have great product to sell. So we dipped our toe in that. We got shut down because you can only do X amount of dollars before you have to be USDA. But I mean, with little effort, we hit that number real quick. So we think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah.
And then working with some of our distributors who have some needs for cutting rooms for customers and things like that. And as you know, I dipped my toe with like other restaurants, like Tyler was using our smash burgers for a bit. So working with different restaurant owners and like I said, taking that labor out of it, but still having a local custom quality product is the focus.
I love it.
And then I think I'm done.
Yeah, sure. I don't think so. Something comes up, you'll be there. So when is there a timeline right now for that? I mean, is it?
Yeah, we just got approved by the planning board. It's kind of cool because my dad, he's a general contractor for Whole Foods, Shake Shacks. He's building like all these projects. He's done it all his life. I should say my other stepdad. So I have multiple dads. My mom's current husband, my dad, John. So he's worked with construction all his life. He was getting ready to retire. And we've always like kicked the tires on, hey, I want to do something with you one day. And so we approached him and we're like, don't retire, stay on one more year and please come build this for us. So that's the plan right now is this will be his, and he's from Derry.
This will be his last hurrah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. So hopefully he comes in and does that and we break ground. We wanted to break ground before winter, but you know how it goes. So hopefully break ground right in the spring and be ready to go. Just wrapping up design right now. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
That's exciting. Any name yet? Or
I think it's Grindhouse.
Okay.
As of now. It could change though. I have a couple other back burner names, but I think that's it for now.
Okay. We have to talk about Beat Bobby Flay.
Oh, do we have to?
Wow. Yeah, but you were, honestly, I could not believe when they picked him. Really
you know how many messages I got about that too?
Because the judges, I was so pissed.
You and me both.
I was in Italy when I was watching that. I was watching that on my iPad.
Really?
I'm like, I have to watch this show.
I don't go to judges' table confident either, but I honestly thought I won it too, especially when that first judge
Yours looked better.
Thank you.
I mean, come on. And then the way they were talking, but they pick and choose what they air. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I was surprised they aired the part where the first judge picked up his clump of pasta as one big glob. And that's when I sat at judges' table like, oh, I think I got this. And the fact they even aired that was surprising to me. But the whole thing with me was I sent them a couple recipes on how I could do stroganoff. And they kind of put it in my ear. They're like, we're just saying you can do whatever you want. But we do notice that if you say it's a certain dish, if you go too far off track, judges might look at that. So we're not telling you what to do, but that's just kind of what we've seen. So I kind of dialed back and made sure it was stroganoff. And I felt like his was not stroganoff, but I'm not going to be a sore loser. What made me feel good, I went to dinner that night.
Feel good. And I did.
Everybody. Yeah. And making it to Bobby was like the goal, right? I mean, if you make it to Bobby, if you go out the first round, it sucks.
Right.
But I just wanted to make it to Bobby. That was a win in itself.
Did you feel like the first round that you had it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did too.
I was pretty confident in that round. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they, the other stuff they didn't air where they were like raving about the sauce and things like this. And there was a lot they said at judges' table that I was like, oh yeah, there's no way that I'm losing that,
All right. Good.
Which again, I don't normally feel like that, but for some reason I just felt it. But that night I went out to dinner in New York City and I'm standing in line waiting for a seat at the bar and Winona, who judged, and her assistant walked by me. They're leaving the restaurant. And I was like, oh, hey. I was like, hey, Winona, like, what's up? And she's like, oh, hey, and kind of walked by. And she took 2 steps, and I'll never forget it. She took 2 steps and stopped and turned around. And she goes, I was hoping I would see you. She goes, you won that. I am so pissed. She turns to her assistant. She goes, it's him. I've been looking for it. Like, I've been wanting to tell him. And she goes, I've got to, her assistant, Lindsay, turned to me. She goes, I got to tell you, she has not stopped talking about this since we left the studio. And why not? She ended up sitting at the bar with me and, you know, she's like, I told Bobby, I told the producers, I told Eddie Jackson. Like, I guess the other judge, Eddie Jackson, was like, oh, there's no way he's losing, kind of thing. And everyone was surprised. Except for Bobby. But yeah, but that was that was the real win, right? I ended up sitting at the bar with Winona for 2 hours. It was like
with Winona.
Yeah, it was like I knew her for years, honestly. Like, absolute sweetheart.
Aw, it's nice when they're like that.
Oh, and then she ended up telling me how much she loves cooking, and I'm gonna come to her house one day and do, let's do some stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Obviously, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then like a couple months later, her assistant called me. She's like, we're doing this surprise birthday for Winona. Can you come to her house? I ended up surprising it. We did this river dinner for 20 people in the middle of the woods. Me and Stacy, my wife.
She said she lives in the woods.
Oh, she owns like 500 acres. Yeah. So I ended up cooking this creekside dinner at night with like string lights, and her sister Ashley Judd was there. My wife loves Ashley Judd.
And Stacy was there.
It was just me and Stacy in the middle of the woods with a couple of grills, and we cooked this beautiful steak lobster dinner, sausages. It ended up being like an awesome night. So just that was winning Bobby Flay. Like, who gets to do that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. Wow. That's like awesome. That's awesome.
Sweetheart of a woman, though. Like, absolute gem.
It's nice when they're genuine like that.
Yeah.
Because so many of them aren't.
I agree. Yeah.
I meet politicians at the diner, but some of them, they're shaking your hand and looking the other way. It's like, seriously?
I know.
Ugh.
I hate that.
I do too.
And it's the same way in like the chef world. And, luckily with like Guy's crew, he's pretty choosy about who's in and who's not. But I mean, I encounter that in the chef world all the time where people.
To me, he seems a little.
He's okay.
Yeah.
He's not Guy.
Yeah.
I tell the story, like the other contestant who didn't make it to him didn't even get to encounter him, but really wanted to, but was kind of told no. So. Again, if you don't get to that's why you got to get through that first round, I guess, if you even want to meet them.
See, I don't think that's nice.
I agree. And I tell the difference, like going on Guys' grocery games, even like if we, like even all the Triple D tournament stuff, like we've all been there, we've done it. Regardless, he pulls you out right before filming, gives you a little pep talk, thanks us for being there, tells us we've already won by being there. We're all, we're all in the circle, blah, 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 but peps us up, says, hey, like he's not like that at all. And that was my first encounter with him when we went to, do you want me to keep talking or no? When I first filmed Triple D, he asked me, he's like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I'm like, whatever you want me to do, chef. And pulled me down to this Harvard event with Tom Brady for Best Buddies.
Oh, I know this story. I was actually going to bring this up.
So were you there?
No, you told me.
Oh, okay.
And how Tom Brady. No, but go ahead.
It just tells you the two different personalities of celebrity, right? So Tom Brady only addressed 3 or 4 kids. Guy literally stopped for every single kid that wanted to, and parents, whatever. He signed the entire cheerleading team's jerseys. I will never forget that story because that was my first like hang with celebrities, and seeing polar opposite celebrities solidified like who Guy was as a person and who I don't want to ever be as a person.
I have told so many people that story.
Yeah.
Because, and my husband like thinks that Tom Brady is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
And anybody that will say that, I tell that story.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope. My friend Bobby, and I tell.
I wasn't a fan before, and I certainly wasn't a fan after encountering that. Like, I don't know how you ever.
Ooh.
I don't know how you ever. Treat, like, I don't know what point of celebrity you get to where you can turn your head to like special needs kids that are literally there for you.
For you, and look up to you, and you just want to only.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read a quote that I read that you had said. But the championship for me is Alana's name on Food Network being honored and remembered, her legacy being shouted nationally to so many, and her not being forgotten. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Alana.
I couldn't say it any better.
Jude.
I mean, Yeah, it's just like, when you lose a child, you worry about their name fading over time, and who.
Sorry.
No, it's just
hard.
it means a lot,
Yep.
to see her name.
And her picture. I mean, they showed, she was
Yeah.
right up on the screen,
And after the second tournament winning, I had some people that thought it maybe was like a just for the storyline kind of thing, or maybe like, is this like just good TV kind of thing? So I started straying away from like wanting that to be even broadcast.
Right.
And I had a really heartfelt, like, deep conversation with production. Like, if that's what I'm here for, like, I don't want to be here. But they're like, we're just like, you're here because of your talent. But the fact you have this kind of a story that America, can really look at and see your daughter. And like, they kind of presented it to me like, we're giving you the opportunity to shout her name. And like, from that point on, I've just never been shy to do so, because it just kind of put that doubt to rest. The imposter syndrome. Like, am I here because I'm a good story? Like it, it kind of gets in your own head. So I didn't want to be the sympathy story. I didn't want to be the sob story, just to be on TV. So, it was up and down for a little bit, like, but.
Well, I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, no, like after talking to some production people and, solidifying the fact of why I'm there, but having the opportunity to do what they allow me to do with Alana and St. Jude's. And I mean, just coming off a monster year with donations. And
talk about that a little bit and let people know, what you do each year.
Yeah. Now I give all the credit.
Donate.
I give all the credit to that now, like having the opportunity to nationally broadcast Alana's name and get people on board with Team Peace Love Alana and donating to St. Jude's. Last year was 10 years since we lost her. We hit the $1 million mark, which blows my mind. Like, if you asked me 10 years ago what my goal was, it was probably to raise $20,000, But each year, it just like, you get hungrier to do more and more and more. And so after the $1 million, even, I told the story, like, me and my mom, I looked at my mom, like, how do we go up that hill again? Like, it took us 10 years to do that. And like, we'll just do it $1 at a time. Right. And so this year, last year I was put in touch with Peter Campbell, Red Wagon Pizza, another Triple D guy. Great guy. He's always shouting out my name, shouting out Alana's name. He will tell anybody and everybody the story just to get more notoriety and more, just get Alana's name out there more. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
And so he connected me with this woman, Shannon Klingman. You've probably seen her all over ads and commercials for Lumi deodorant. She created it. She's just an absolute amazing human being. But we met at a private party she was doing for her employees, monster party. Guy and Bobby were there cooking. James Taylor was performing. This is just for like 200 people at her house. So Peter calls me up. Do you want to come do some pizzas with me?
Hello.
Of course, I'll be there. And the very first time we met, like within 10 minutes, she was walking me through this beautiful garden that she had built for her daughter, who she lost. That was on her house. And we just had this like crazy emotional moment.
Connection. Yeah.
And, from that point on, I think we just linked up. And so she made the decision at the end of last year that whatever we needed to get to that $1 million, she was going to donate. And she ended up donating like $70,000 last year.
Wow.
And then this year she called me and she said, "You're in my trust. It's in all my stuff. I am forever giving $50,000 a year to St. Jude's in Alana's name." She's like, "But on top of that, how about we do more? And I'm going to match every dollar that you raise over what you did last year." And so, I mean, she just made a donation of $167,000 on top of the $167 we raised, and put us at like
shivers, Bobby.
I get shivers. I do too. I get them every time I think about it. Like, how did I encounter this amazing woman, and just people in my life in general? I mean, not just her, but just everybody, even the $10 donors. Like, I know people that are struggling with their car payment that still donated $10, $20. You know what I mean? Like, so many amazing people that have rallied in Alana's name, and it's all about that legacy. And I just, hearing my daughter now talk about.
Oh, yeah.
But like, seeing my kids talk about their sister the way they do is really cool. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do some rapid fire questions.
All right, cool.
Let's do that. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. No more sad ones though, right?
Nope. Nope.
All right.
All right. I think I know the answer to this one, but burger blend, classic or wild card?
What do you mean by this?
I did answer either it's a burger blend, like picture burger blend, classic burger blend, or wild card burger blend.
What's the wild card?
Anything. That would be you.
I mean,
that's what I mean.
You're asking me Tuckaway or hop and grind right now, right? Is that what you're asking me? I tell everyone that's like picking a favorite child. I would say Tuckaway is the classic and hop and grind is the
wild.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of it that way.
That's exactly that's like what I immediately went to.
I was kind of thinking of you creating and being like, well, I'm not doing classic. But I didn't even think of it.
I think I do. Yeah.
That's funny.
I can't pick a favorite child.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it.
I think, well, you know what? I'm going to say classic simply because I do serve beef burgers at Hop and Grind. So let's say classic because that is the backbone of Hop and Grind too. As long as it's fresh ground, that's all I care about.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Gosh, has to be. Fries, shoestring or waffle fries?
Waffle fries.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Pickles, on or on the side?
Both.
Okay. What is your favorite cut from your butcher case?
Oh my God. I got to give it to the steak tips. I mean,
like the house one, or is there any?
Yeah, house are usually my go-to. I do love the dirty house that we do now. I love them all, honestly, but I mean, I got to give the credit to the steak tips. It's made us who we are.
Yeah,
but if you're going steak cuts, I'm probably leaning towards a ribeye.
That's Daryl's favorite, ribeye. You know, we need to mention too, your sausages.
Yeah.
Like the chicken parm one is my favorite one.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
It is definitely
all
one of mine
different
too.
kinds. It's so good. What is your favorite comfort food after service? Like you finish
chips,
the night.
Any bag of chips that's laying around. I fiend for chips. I don't know.
That's my sister.
It doesn't matter what kind they are either. Even if it's just corn chips with salsa or Lay's, I don't care. I'm always munching chips.
I think that's so funny. If Guy Fieri shows up unannounced, what do you cook for him?
Whatever he asks for. Man, I mean, he kind of eats healthy. You know what I mean? He loves.
He has to probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Eating food all the time, and over the years, he's kind of gone up, and you kind of see him.
I mean, I'd hit him with some steak tips, and he absolutely loved the Dirty Birds. So I'd probably rip an order of Dirty Birds for him if he was just walking through the door.
Love it. One spice you'd sneak into every dish if you could.
Oh, that's a great question. If I could and not worry about like people's opinions, I'd say garlic. Honestly, I like it on anything. That's kind of basic. So if you're going like spice, I'd probably say ancho chili because I love that too.
Yeah, yum. We like.
Yeah, it adds a little depth to it. Yeah. Just a little bit of heat. I love what it does to flavoring.
Yum. Kitchen pump up song before a big service. Do you guys do that?
Oh my God, yes, so much.
Love it.
Every song is a pump up song when I'm on the line. Like I put on a playlist and I probably just sing for 3-4 hours straight. I think my staff hates it probably, but I mean, "What's Up" by 4 Non Blondes is a classic pump up song in our kitchen. Damn, what else? There's so many. It all depends on the day. "Don't Stop Believin'" always gets the whole kitchen singing.
Love that.
It depends on the day. We can go hip hop too. I mean, there's a couple Biggie songs that once they "Give Me the Loot," if that goes on, the whole kitchen's going.
Love it. I love it. Before I ask my last question, is there anything else you want to let people know that we didn't touch upon that you want people to know about any of your restaurants or upcoming or whatever?
No, just look forward to Derry. That's the next big one. If there's any Christmas parties, private events, private dinners that you want to do at Barnet Mary Hill, we're not just weddings. I don't think a lot of people know that. And I really haven't promoted it in any way other than just now. But yeah, we're looking forward to doing more of that this year now that we kind of got our feet under us. Yeah, no, look for cool pop-ups at Rise and Grind like I was talking about.
Cool.
That's going to
Love
be
that.
more often and more fun. So, yeah.
So I always like to end with talking about, because I'm sure you and Stacy go out to dinner.
Yes.
Where are your favorite places to go? Doesn't even have to be favorite. I mean, what is do you have like a go-to that it's like a...
So if I'm going out for cocktails, it's the obvious 815. And I know you just
interviewed them.
I just listened to your episode, and I got to tell you, like, they didn't give enough. I think they gave a lot of credit, but their food program
ridiculous.
Has gotten like ridiculous.
I hadn't been, and I went.
Oh, you did go?
Yes, I went. Because I was heading to Italy, and we talked about spritzers, and I'm like, I don't like those. And she's like, oh, you got to come try my Negroni. I will teach you how to like a Negroni in Italy. And I didn't, but I did try. And Daryl and I went that Friday or the Friday after.
Heck yeah.
Before we went. That food is next level.
The food's great, yeah. So that's kind of been my, like, if I'm going late night by myself or, I try to sneak there and do some work. If, it's just a nice quiet spot, great cocktail. I mean, the cocktail program and Ryan's whiskey list is insane. But I love the boys at Industry East. I mean, their chef, Jeff, doesn't get enough credit either. I mean, that kid can cook. One of my favorites as well. But Derry, Buxton's Pizza. Have you talked to him yet?
No.
Have you been to Buxton's Pizza?
No.
Oh, my God. So he just scooped up Nick Preventure, who was running Birch on Elm, too, which was like my favorite spot. Both locations. I mean, he's one of my favorite chefs in the state. He just throws down.
Preventure.
Yeah, so he's running the pasta program, and they're running the pizza program. And
at
Buxton's.
Ooh.
You can't get a seat. Like right now, they've only got like 30, 40 seats, and they're packed. They're only open Thursday through Sunday, maybe, but they're packed all the time. But he is crushing it. Like really good pizza. The arancini's ridiculous. So I'm loving there. And me and my fam love sumo sushi. And I tell the story, like that was my first restaurant I worked at, was Blarney Stone. It was the Blarney Stone in the Hood Plaza where Sumo Sushi now lives. And they've been consistently good for sushi, fried rice.
I love sushi, so.
Yeah, you got to have you been there?
No.
You got to go try the Derry roll.
Okay.
Me and my family are obsessed. So we go there like at least once every other week. We've been in there. That would be our like top list right now. So
Buxton's Pizza and
Sumo Sushi.
Sumo Sushi. Okay.
Great jobs.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
I'm sure there's plenty more if you want me to keep going, but
I'll text you and ask. Let me start with these two.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yum.
Yeah, and you should talk to Buxton's too.
I will.
Yeah, great family man.
If I need a lead in, I'll ask you.
I don't even know if I have his number.
Okay.
But I'm sure if you reach out, yeah. And then Nick's a boss too. Maybe have them both on because they're both crushing both sides of the game.
Love it. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was so fun. It was nice to catch up with you. And, I mean, I've just been watching, from the other side and just watching you. And I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
It's just awesome.
And your support's been amazing.
Awesome.
Like you're always shouting my praises clearly to Guy too. I didn't know. Thank you.
Didn't know.
No, I did not know that. It makes sense because, they called me when they came back up to New Hampshire and asked, they kind of gave me a list and said, which one of these would you do kind of thing. It wasn't as much like, where would you recommend? But same idea.
They just asked me who. I don't think they gave me any lists like that. And
well, I can't thank you enough. Now I owe you big time.
Oh, you don't owe me
I'm going to have to put your name on a seat at Tuckaway.
Oh, yeah, right. No. All right. Well, we'll be talking soon.
Thank you.